that's one of the key benefits to the retired person visa is that it is a road to permanent residency. Now, again, when we look at permanent residency, we can look at two different sections of the Immigration Act. We have 27E or 27F, and these are going to be dependent on each applicant's personal circumstances.
Good day, and welcome back to another podcast. I'm Manfred Barnard, and today I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Kerry Culver. Today's topic specifically focuses on South Africa's retired person visa. Kerry, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much.
Kerry, would you mind telling us a bit more about this retired person visa? It's been debated by a lot of expatriates whether it's just for, as they say, old people, or is it young people as well? Would you just care to explain it to us a bit?
Absolutely. So, South Africa's retired person visa is issued for a period of up to 4 years. It is renewable in South Africa and it is a road to permanent residency. What we'll be discussing today is the retired person visa under the current regulations, and we have a couple of other videos that explain the upcoming changes that we may be seeing in the immigration landscape.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction. Would you mind telling me how does one qualify for this visa under the current regime? Because I hear that this is subject to change now.
So there are changes on the horizon, but they are not brought into effect as yet. So we're going to be discussing the current framework. There are two ways in which an applicant can apply for the retired person visa. There is the option in terms of Section 21A, which is evidencing that you have a monthly income that meets the requirement of 37,000 Rand a month. Now, that income can be evidenced through rental income, pensions, annuities, investment, or interest. There is an amalgamation of different ways that we can evidence monthly income. It's important to note that income cannot be salaried. The other way that we can look at the retired person visa is in terms of Section 21B, which is a net worth assessment. Now, when we prepare these applications, it is applicant dependent. Every person's situation looks different, so we will review the documentation to determine whether your application is going to be in terms of Section 21A or Section 21B. Important to note, when we look at Section 21B, it must be liquid net worth. And I think that is where a lot of applicants go wrong.
Thank you, Kerry. That's interesting. You didn't mention anything about age, however. Is this visa purely financial, or what's the deal there? Is there any age requirements? And for example, can I work on this visa?
Manfred, you ask all the right questions. There is no age requirement or age criteria, rather, for the retired person visa under the current framework. We have applicants who have done really well in life or have inherited wealth, and at 25, they are free to retire. So under the current framework, no age regulation.
So current framework, does that mean the new framework, this is going to change, or what's the scenario there?
Nothing has been finalized. We do, however, foresee that there may be the implementation of an age restriction, but nothing is final yet. As soon as the amended regulations have been published, I think you and I will probably do another series and talk about what the visa process looks like now.
In terms of visa process, that I think you've explained it exceptionally well there. But a lot of applicants want permanent residence for South Africa. I mean, you fall in love with the food, the culture, some of the people, not all of them. And is there a route to permanent residence for these people, or not necessarily?
Absolutely. So I think that's one of the key benefits to the retired person visa is that it is a road to permanent residency. Now, again, when we look at permanent residency, we can look at two different sections of the Immigration Act. We have 27E or 27F, and these are going to be dependent on each applicant's personal circumstances. Permanent residency under 27F is through the financially independent route. We are going to delve more into the financially independent permit later in this series, but for now I want to focus on Section 27E, which is the retired person roadmap for permanent residency. We need to evidence that An applicant has a lifetime guarantee of 37,000 Rand a month. And when we talk about lifetime guarantees, that can be your pension, that can be, again, those investments or annuity options that will pay out for the foreseeable future. Now, I'm sure your question is, how does the Department of Home Affairs know how long I'm going to live?
Now, when am I gonna die?
Very good question. Now, this is completely subjective, and it is unfortunate, but it is the way that the current framework works. We will always prepare an application with as much evidence as possible, showing the department that you can support yourself for the rest of your days. It's about how an application is prepared. And I think that comes down to the root of the entire landscape of immigration. Preparation is key.
In terms of preparation, you mentioned a minimum income through these annuities or net worth. Do you have a figure in mind in terms of how much I need to demonstrate that I'll receive through my pension each month? And in terms of net worth, what net worth do I need to demonstrate to qualify for this visa?
So, for a retired person visa, in terms of Section 21A, the requirement is to evidence 37,000 Rand. If we look at Section 21B, which is that net worth, generally what we'll do is we'll say 37,000 times the amount of months that you are going to be in country, and we get a net worth. So an amount that shows that you can essentially pay yourself 37,000 Rand a month.
All right. And in terms of my spouse, is it 37,000 Rand for them as well per month, or is it other amounts?
So generally, we would always advise that we must increase that minimum threshold if you have accompanying dependents. And dependents can be children as well. When we talk about including family into a retired person visa, that we need to evidence to the department that you have additional funds to take care of your dependents. Generally, we would advise an additional 8,500 per family member that is accompanying you.
Oh, okay. All right, fantastic. And then, are they also eligible to accompany me on my permanent residence permit, or is it just me eligible for PR?
So your family will be eligible for permanent residency as well. It is, however, important to note that we may, in certain circumstances, and again, it is applicant dependent, but we may advise that a main applicant obtain their permanent residency first, and then we move on to applying for the family. But that will differ based on a lot of different circumstances. The list is actually too big to discuss here. Um, so yes, it is possible. What that process looks like will be different per family.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great overview, and thank you so much for your time. And I'm sure the fine ladies and gentlemen interested can reach out to you and discuss this further.
Absolutely. Anytime, we look forward to it.
Yeah. Thank you, and see you in the next one.